Sup, y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I figured I'd talk to you guys a little bit about the possibility of adventure mode being added into World of Warcraft. Now, recently there was a convention called DragonCon. At DragonCon, there was a panel, Q&A session. I'm not really sure what the format was, but Jonathan Lee Kraft, who's one of the senior game designers of World of Warcraft, he was there, answered a lot of questions about Legion, and in turn gave us a lot of new information about Legion. Now, one of those little bits of information excited me a whole lot, is that he said there might be a possibility that in Legion, or just in the future of World of Warcraft, there might be an adventure mode added into the game. Now, I think this is a definite possibility, by the way. I mean, Blizzard recycles more than Greenpeace, and so anything that they can get you to do again, they're going to try and do that. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing is irrelevant. We're not really going to talk about that too much in this video, but I think this is a definite possibility, given especially like what they've been doing recently, like with time walking and everything else like that. It could create daily content, and so before we really get into like a discussion about this, I want to tell you guys what adventure mode is. Now, adventure mode is well, I mean, it's different for every game, right? But I'm going to assume that they're talking about Diablo because they made that game too. And so in Diablo, there's two different types of two different ways you can play the game, right? There's like campaign mode or story mode, and then there's adventure mode. Story mode, you start out, you're level 1, you got to kill some guys, and then you kill Skeleton King, you kill the Butcher, and then you go straight, on a linear path all the way over to kill Diablo or Mathiel if you have the expansion. Now in adventure mode, you start basically in Old Tristram, which is pretty much like Stormwind. It's really shitty, but it's pretty much like your main little city area, and you can go anywhere else in the game automatically right from level 1, I think. And so this is a very big difference. Now, how I think that really Blizzard might be already have tested this out in World of Warcraft with Gorgrond. Now, in Gorgrond, you don't actually have to do a lot of the quests. What you can do is you can go to certain areas, and if you haven't completed the quest for those areas, there'll be a bonus objective for that area, and you just go and kill the mobs that would be required for the quest, and you get the bonus objective experience. Since you don't actually have to follow the linear path of the quest, but you just have to pretty much go around and kill shit, and you get experience just as much. And actually, what's funny about that is that in Diablo, if you do adventure mode, it also is better experience and it's faster leveling. But and in Gorgrond, you want to do the bonus objectives. It's kind of like the same thing. And so I think this would be kind of cool. I think that there could be a lot of pitfalls that could make it repetitive or boring or something else like that. But I like the thinking about the idea. And so pretty much like the way that it works is that because I've got some footage in the game, obviously, of me doing Diablo. Is so you start off and you go to Old Tristram or wherever you've got your character at, and you can look, and there's like little exclamation points all around the map of different places that you can port to, right? And if you port to one place, you have to go kill free some Templars, and if you have to go somewhere else, you have to kill some kind of a demon. And so there's all these different ways, different things that you have to do. They're called bounties basically, and I can see Blizzard incorporating that in the World of Warcraft very easily. And so I think that really it would be very interesting to see, especially I think that a lot of people, for me personally, Gorgrond is my favorite zone. This is my favorite zone. I mean, it's not my favorite zone in the game, right? Because, nostalgia and everything, but, aesthetically, it's definitely the coolest fucking zone in Draenor, and it's quantitatively, the best leveling zone in Draenor. And so a lot of people really like Gorgrond. You got those fucking birds flying around, you got these giant things pounding on the ground, you gotta walk around them or they'll kill you. It's great, okay? But I don't really want to get into that too much because I never stop, alright? Anyway, so the idea of Gorgrond kind of being I don't know, a mining canary, petri dish, whatever you really want to call it, and kind of a test for them is to see how players are going to react to an adventure mode type game. Now, I think that one thing that could be a drawback for this, and it's also a drawback in Diablo 3. Now, a lot of times I actually do like to just sit back, turn on the game sound, and just neckbeard it up, kill the Skeleton King, kill the Butcher, kill Magda, kill Belial, go all the way through and do all the different stuff, and just leveling up just the same way I did whenever the first day I started the game. But at the same time, it's what are you really going to do, right? Are you going to do that, or are you just going to get somebody to power level you, in adventure mode or something like that, in rifts or whatever? And so people are the point I'm trying to make here is that people always choose the path of least resistance. I think in Diablo, there's a exploit that I found, or I didn't really found it, I actually stole it from somebody else and made a video about it, where you could stand in a corner and you wear firewalkers, which are boots that put fire on your feet and they do damage to things, and you stand there and rats spawn on you and you kill the rats all day long, and it's really, really good experience. And so people were doing that all the time. Everybody had fire boots on, stomping on rats all night long because it never took them off the server. And so people, as the point I'm trying to make again, is that everybody is always going to do the easiest thing possible regardless of if it's fun, the most efficient thing possible, really, most efficient, easiest, depending on the kind of player, they will always gravitate to that, not do really what the game kind of like wanted them to do. Because I mean, obviously Blizzard didn't plan for people to be sitting there stomping on rats all day, but that's just the way it turned out. And so all these little things, it's very interesting to see, kind of how they've kind of tried to stop that stuff. But then with adventure mode, I think that what like a problem that you could run into is that people don't really ever do the quest because adventure mode is more lucrative. It is faster, and so everybody's just going to do adventure mode, and so nobody really goes through the quests. And I think that doing the questing, having the questing experience, can be beneficial for some people, and like to get involved with the characters. Now, I mean, I know a lot of people don't really wear a robe and wizard hat whenever they play the game, but some people do, and whenever they do, and those people probably wouldn't be even doing that if they didn't really have to, and they had adventure mode that they could do anyway. And so it does engage those people, and I guess like what's really the word, like make them attach those people to the characters in the game. And that's always really a good thing for any game that you're really trying to make, or at least like in my opinion it is. Unless you're making ships for your shipyard, then you better not get attached, because we all know what happens with those. And so anyway, the whole idea of adventure mode, I think that it could be really, really cool for World of Warcraft, especially as like kind of a way for them to revamp the whole daily system. Now, this is something that I think that World of Warcraft like needs some sort of a I'm trying to think like a word of it. Like whenever daily quests were added into the game, that was probably like one of the last most recent, and that was a long time ago, most recent like real kind of things that they did to really improve the player experience and really kind of another step forward in the whole MMO genre. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of that recently in terms of things and things that players do every single day to kind of keep people occupied and everything like that. And I think we could see like a Daily Quest 2.0 coming out with adventure mode, where you have to go back to Gorgrond, like let's say for example, and go kill like maybe Tarlinda the Ancient as like one of the bounties for the week. And if you do that and you complete all of the other objectives in the area, like kill some things in the pit, like all the rare spawns in the pit, and maybe that Typhon, that Hydra, and like it's like off in the middle of nowhere, you kill all that stuff, and like maybe you might get like a Hellfire Citadel like normal mode cache, like hypothetically, right? And so this would be a cool idea. Now obviously whenever you have something like that, and there's not really a whole lot of different bounties in Diablo, even I'd say that there's probably like 120 of them, 100 of them. And so like if you play the game for like a week, you've probably gone through like pretty much all of them, and you know pretty much what to expect whenever you do one. And so it could also lead to burnout, but I think that with dailies already, it could also lead to burnout as well. Another thing that could be a problem with this is that like whenever you have something, as I said, it is kind of like recycling content. And so whenever you get people playing through the same content, it keeps this feedback loop of like I've said this a million times, this is not progression, it's repetition. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. People are not really going to have as much fun doing that. And so it could also serve as a disincentive to create more content, which is some of my criticisms with other things that they've added into the game that have served as kind of you don't really need to make new dungeons whenever you have, like the Tannin Jungle gear, or like the Timeless Isle gear, or even LFR for that matter, or new dungeons, or anything like that. And so those easier things that all you have to do is like just add little pieces of gear into the game, and that kind of it negates the need to make content. And so that's something that we can always be wary of and worried, because that's kind of what's happened with raiding in a way, and also especially with dungeons. Not everybody raids, but almost everybody does dungeons. Like in Burning Crusade, like there was like 17 or something like that dungeon, or like 14 dungeons, and like in WoD there's 8, right? And so whenever you have something like that that removes the necessity to create more content, Blizzard being a company, again, like even as a company, even more so, is always going to take the path of least resistance. And so I really do hope that if they do add this adventure mode into the game, that it's added as something that will add new content, really new content into the game, and not really just kind of going back and doing all the old stuff over again. What I think would really be cool, like this is just me though, is that like if you could go back into like Elwynn Forest, and like I don't really know if they could like scale you down or something like that, but you have to go back and like kill Hogger, and like do like 3 or 4 different of the old quests in Elwynn Forest or Westfall or something like that, and maybe get like time walking badges or something cool like that, kind of to get people back into doing all of the content in the game. There is so much content in World of Warcraft, but there's such a small amount of it that players really have any incentive what to do. And so incentivizing old content in one way or another, even in like something silly, kind of like my suggestion is, I mean, it's I know it's stupid, right? But you know, it could be cool, and you know, I don't know. I think that would be that's good, and also, I mean, because it would get people. You know, it would get people doing stuff. You know, I think that that's the problem, is that people sit in their garrison. And really, I mean, even if we didn't have garrisons, we'd just be sitting in the main city. It gets people out in the world doing things and, you know, incentivizing and just making kind of like just a few new little things to kind of keep people into the game and have them having fun with it. I think that really would help a lot. And so anyway, guys, you know, I hope that you, I don't know, I hope that you guys like the video, but I hope that you guys are excited as I am also as well with this whole adventure mode thing. And you know, again, like there are a lot of really positive aspects and a lot of really negative aspects. I try to always like talk about both, you know what I mean? Because you know, like things can go well and things cannot go well, right? And so you know, I think that, you know, talking to you guys about it and just, you know, I don't know, having a little bit of a discussion about it, I think is a good idea. And so anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Like, I mean, do you think adventure mode and WoW would be cool? You know, if you played D3, you know kind of what adventure mode is. You know, like basically non-linear storyline. And, you know, if so, why, you know, etc. And so anyway, guys, just go ahead and let me know. As I said, I'm kind of curious to see what other people are thinking about this. Maybe I'm just sitting here in my chair like an idiot, you know, thinking about dumb stuff that probably nobody else agrees with. But anyway, I'm kind of curious to find out if that's true or not. But for now, that's pretty much all I've got. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.